Rubina and I'm going to teach you how to cook Indian food. My mother taught me and I'm really passionate about it, and I'd like to share my passion with you. So my style of cooking is Punjabi style, because India is a very large place. People in the South India cook very differently from people in the North, and the spices vary, the techniques vary. So today I'm focusing on Punjabi style. So we are going to make a very popular dish which is called Gobi Aloo, cauliflower and potato, in a curry based masala dish. So if you have a look, I've actually done quite a bit of preparation to save time. So I've already peeled and sliced my onion, and I've half cooked the potatoes. You don't have to, but it's just to quicken the time. And I've got the ginger and the garlic ready. I've chopped it myself. If you want to do it in a mixer, that's absolutely fine. The quantity will be on the menu. And then we've got the fresh cauliflower, washed and sliced. Then these are the spices that we're going to be using. Purposely, I've chosen the basics because the idea behind this is that you will all feel that you can actually try to cook a lovely tasty dish. So we're going to be using salt, turmeric, black pepper, red chili powder, and then we've got cumin seeds as well, and ground coriander. And we will garnish it finally with chopped green chilies, which is actually optional because they are quite this, and I've only done the smallest amount, but this is definitely optional. If you want a nice little kick, then you would use that. And we would have coriander, which I've already washed and ready to just finally finish off our dish. So we begin with our pan. Now, just to make it clear, there are a couple of different ways to start masala. A lot of the time I do actually fry the onions first, and then I would add the spices. But today I'm going to put some water and put the spices so that all the spices would be cooked. So you can see I'm just going to add a very small cup of water into the onions, and then I'm going to add my spices. Now again, it depends on yourself how spicy you would like this, because if you are a beginner and you're not too sure if you like things too spicy, just half the quantity of what I'm going to share with you, because it all depends on your own preference. Salt, sugar, everything is to your own liking, so you actually have control over the way and how spicy you want it. So we're going to do just 1 spoon of salt, and then we've got half heap of turmeric, and then we're going to do 1 of red chili powder. Now, chili powder you can actually get in different strengths. When you buy it, have a look at the packet, because it tells you if it's very spicy, very hot, or medium, or just maybe you shouldn't go for the one which is too spicy, unless you're very keen and you want it. So this is coriander, ground coriander. And then we're going to put our chopped garlic and ginger. It's all nicely ready for us. Cook this, takes a couple of minutes, and once the water has evaporated, then we will add our tomatoes and the cooking oil. We'll get our tomatoes ready. You can use fresh ones. I tend to use the canned because I think there's a better consistency, but you're absolutely fine if you prefer to use fresh. You can do that as well. If if you do use fresh tomatoes, you need to put tomato paste because it gives that colouring. Because the fresh don't have that. The taste is lovely either way because I've done it both ways. So you can see I've got a can of Italian plum tomatoes. You can have the chopped one as well. You can see the water evaporating. You can see it's on a high heat. And then you can add half if you prefer to. Depends on yourself. Actually, this is quite big. I'm going to take one out because it doesn't. And you're just smashing them. And we will add the oil in a few minutes. Because what we're trying to do here is create the masala base. This is the base of our dish. Because if you can master this masala, you will be able to use various other vegetables like eggplant, courgettes, so many. I mean, I love making sabzi, which is mixed vegetables, and you would start off in the same way to make your masala. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just softening tomatoes. Another little tip is, if you wanted to, you could actually put them in a mixer, the tomatoes, first and then add them to your pan. That's another way as well. It's all trial and error. I mean, I've only been cooking for many years, so. But you know, sometimes things don't always work out. Either the spices are not right, even the potatoes vary. So it's not the end of the world if something doesn't turn out the exact way, but you can always try again. Okay, we're going to add our oil now. Oil is again your preference. There's so many different kinds of oils. I mean, I tend to use the rapeseed oil. You can use corn oil. You can use vegetable oil, whichever. In Indian cooking, we don't tend to use a lot of olive oil because olive oil is a fabulous oil, but we cook on such a high heat that it's better to use the other oils. So today, on this occasion, we're using rapeseed oil, but you're absolutely welcome to use the oils that you normally use. So you would obviously measure it. It's about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. See, straight away when you've added the oil, it's making a big difference. You've noticed I've left the heat high all the time. We will turn it down once the vegetables are in. So we can cover it just for a few minutes. Just bring the gas slightly lower and just let it cook for a few minutes. Because even the onions vary, because there's so many different kinds of onions, and sometimes they just don't go soft. So this is Spanish onion that I'm using, that I've noticed on different occasions that they take different time. Some take longer than others. So what we're trying to do is we're going to hopefully it gets softer, the onions, and it creates a masala, which is like a pulp. And then once the oil rises, which at this stage is, we're going to call it bunna, that's dry. So we're taking all the water, all the liquid out of this and then once the oil rises, then we add our vegetables. Yes. And I have got all these ready, so if you wanted to, you can parboil them because it quickens the procedure. It takes less time, but you can put them raw as well. And then that's our cauliflowers. You can notice they're nice small pieces so that they cook easily.
And how many potatoes?
About three to four.
Potatoes.
Yeah, because and then 3 to 4 red potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, because red potatoes keep their shape because you don't want anything to just fall apart. Because when you serve a dish, it has to look very nice as well as tasty.
Yes.
Yeah. So really, you would leave the lid on for a good 5 minutes, and just to make sure that nothing is sticking. It shouldn't be because there's quite a lot of moisture there, but sometimes it does. The water just evaporates much quicker, so you would just add a drop of water. Now I've noticed some of my friends would actually puree this. They'd get a blender and they would actually blast it so that the onions don't look like this, they go much softer. Now that's your own preference, because to me in a vegetable it's absolutely fine to have the onions there, part of the dish, but some people prefer them not to be seen so much. So again, that's one of your own preference. Maybe you could do it both ways. Try it out once just like this, the way we've done it today, and then another time at this stage you could use the blender. Then you would have to wait a little bit longer for the oil to rise. We've just put the gas up again and it's almost ready. We're just waiting for the oil to rise. It's showing. And like I said, the ginger and the garlic can be done in a mixer if you don't like to sort of have it seen in your masala base. I mean, I love it because I think it's very good for ginger and garlic. So if my potatoes were not cooked, I would actually add the potatoes now. But because I've already parboiled the potatoes, I'm going to put the cauliflower in first. It's still on a high heat. See, there's approximately, that's the sort of size you just want to, little florets. Yeah. So add this all into your pan. It's always good to use a large saucepan because we do a lot of stirring. So I'm just trying to make sure all the cauliflower is covered in the sauce. Yeah. So we're going to put the lid on just to let it simmer. We'll bring the temperature down. Yeah, it's got to go. So we leave that there for about maybe 5-6 minutes, and then we will add our potatoes. And we'll cook that again on a very high heat, and then we will finally finish it with our dressing right at the end. Okay, so we've let cauliflower cook in its lovely sauce. And now we're going to add the potatoes. So you can see that they are just part-boiled. We're going to put the gas up to its maximum and cook it on a high heat. So again you can see that I'm trying to cover everything with the masala. So we can add some of our things. So as I said earlier, you can add the green chilies. Just a little tip for you, the smaller the green chilies are, the more hotter they are. So this is just one single green chili. And if you don't want it too spicy, you don't need to add this. Okay, and then we're going to add our black pepper. We will add the fresh coriander in just a couple of minutes. As you can see, I tidy up as I'm going along. Smells wonderful. See, there's little bits there starting to stick. So we can see that the moisture has actually gone. And that's what we want. And we will let it simmer now. So all our vegetables, potatoes are covered in this rich sauce. And if you realise, because it depends on the size of the cauliflower, that maybe there's not enough salt in it. So it is absolutely fine to taste it. Check, and you just have a little bit to see if you'd like to, because it all depends on your preference. It's actually fine. Lovely. So you can hear it. This is sticking, so we're going to reduce the gas. The moment you put the lid back on, the steam will create some moisture, and all of this will be cooked in about 5 to 6 minutes. And the last thing that you would do then is just add the fresh coriander. And you could serve this with pilau rice, or you could have roti, naan. There's several ways that you can serve this, and it's always nice to have raita. Raita is natural yogurt with cucumber. It sort of balances it out. You've got a very refreshing natural yogurt with a beautiful rich curry dish. And I generally have it with roti, which is chapati, but it's equally nice with naan bread, pita bread. So it depends on yourself what you have. Lots of different options. So we're just going to check to see if everything is cooked. Yeah. It's just sticking there, so and the way to check it is, so you get a fork and just, yeah, because it needs to be firm, because if it goes too soft it'll just break up. And the cauliflower is beautiful as well. There we are. We're just going to add our coriander. And now we can turn the gas off and it's ready. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure you will try to make it. Thank you.